Hey romance reader, Linda here, coming back at you with another video. Welcome back to AdoreR. Hope everyone's having a great day. Happy Easter. I hope you're having a great Sunday and enjoying your Easter. Coming to you today, bringing you an update on my TBR. I know some of you have already seen my TBR. I think I mentioned that I haven't got too far on my TBR. I've been having this TBR ever since last year, but I have added some more books. And plus I've got some new subscribers that probably haven't seen my TBR, so I'm gonna do a TBR for April, an updated TBR for April with some old books that I've already had on there and some new books. So let's get started. First up, I'm gonna go over. I think I mentioned on here that I've been in a reader slump, but I have finished 3 books this year. Yeah, and none of them were fan-freaking-tastic. No, they wouldn't. So maybe that's why I'm in a slump, because I haven't read anything that really, like when I finished it, you know, it just made me feel like, wow, that book was great. But no, I haven't read anything like that yet, but I'm trying. So first up, I have Christina Dodd Wilder. I'll just say this was okay. I couldn't get into it, and I like Christina Dodd. I hope I said Christina Dodd, because sometimes I'll be like Chris Dodd. Yeah, I'll be missing. Yeah. Christina Dodd, and this is a paranormal of hers, but I've read her historical. I've enjoyed her historical, so I said let me try something else of hers, and I couldn't get into this one. This was kind of like a Beauty and the Beast theme, because the guy, his name was Alexander Wilder, and the female character was Charisma Fangorn, and he got hurt. Something happened to his face. His face got messed up, and he's been living in the sewers. It's some kind of, I guess it's been down there. He found this place, like a building down there. I don't know if it's a building, but anyway, it was a place down there that he found, and he's been living down there. And in some kind of way, she ends up down there. She get hurt or something, he finds her and take her back to where he stays, and it goes from there. But it was a lot of character in this. It just was a lot of going back with other characters, and I just could not get into it. I didn't get into the main characters, and you had the chosen one, those were the good guys, and then they had the others, those were the bad guys. Have any of you read this series? I think it's a series, the Chosen One series. Did you like it? I just could not get into this book here. If you notice right here, it got a list of characters right there. These are the Chosen One characters, and then at this little section is like the Chosen Ones, friends and enemies. In that little section, it just was a lot going. I just could not get into it. I wasn't feeling it, so I just said this was okay. Yeah, next. I won't be keeping that one. And then I have this one, Under the Desert Sky. Like when you read these books, and when you read a book and it don't capture your interest right away, and it just take you forever, you know it's gonna be one of those, because it took me forever to finish this one. And this right here, it took me this was just okay. I could not, but I finished it. I forced myself to finish this. I know one of you recommended to me just go ahead and move on, but I just can't. I just rather not read it for a while and then go back and finish it. I'll be trying to not. I'll be like, I'm just gonna put this book down because it don't have my interest. And I don't know, I be feeling guilty for not finishing the book. I don't know. I got some issues going on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to work through that. This is Under the Desert Sky by Sarah Luck. This is another one that, like I said, it took me forever to read it. And this is about Christian DeWitt and Phoebe Sloan. And Christian is from Australia. He comes to America the lady that he got adopted by, this lady in Australia, and she owned ostriches. I cannot pronounce that word. Some ostriches. And he goes to America because she's sending an ostrich. I don't know, I forgot how many, was he taking 1 or 2? I don't know how many, but he goes over there and take the ostriches to America, to Phoebe, to this guy in America, and he meets Phoebe because she has an ostrich farm, and that's how he meets her, and it goes from there. And because he's trying to decide if he wants to stay in America or go back to Australia, you know, because he met Phoebe here. But I just couldn't get into the story. The story didn't really sometimes the story is good, but the characters just don't do it for me. But this time the story and the characters, I don't know, it just wasn't happening. And that's Under the Desert Sky, Sarah Luck. And yeah, I won't be reading that again either. And then the last one here that I finished with is Kaki Warner, Open Country. I think I mentioned on here, I love the first book, and the first book was called Pieces of Sky. I really enjoyed that book. So I said, let me get the whole series because it's a 3-book trilogy. And this is on the second brother. His name is Hank Wilkins, and the female lead in this one is Molly McFarlane. For some reason, I couldn't get into the main characters. I enjoyed the story. The story was okay. The characters, I didn't feel like I got to know Hank really good, and I don't know. It was just something. The male character, I didn't get to know him that well in here because he was so, I don't know. I'll put it like this. I'm not good at explaining myself. It just did not do it for me. This book didn't do it for me. But the story was good, so I said this was it was good. I would recommend, because some of you out there might like it, but it didn't do it for me. I said this was a good book, and the story, I enjoyed the story. It's just that the character, the male character, I don't know, it was hard for me to get into him. Yeah, and that just messed the whole story up for me. But I'll say the story was good, so I said this was good, this one was okay, and this one was okay. So I'll give this a good, because like I mentioned in the first, I really enjoyed the first book, which was Pieces of Sky. I really enjoyed it. So, and this is from the Blood Rose series. And next up, I started reading, I added this to my TBR because I got this from the Romance Reveal book box. This came in the last box, and I read the synopsis, and I really liked it. This sounded interesting because the characters in here is Zach Hastings, and I think her name is Delia. And they meet by, he texts her, and she thinks it's her brother, and she texts him back. You know, they don't realize that they don't know each other. And then Zach texts her again, and that's when they find out that, like, what's this? But they strike up a conversation, and they just find stuff in common, and they just keep texting each other. The book is, I'm gonna say it's good, but it's a lot of, if you don't like a lot of like texting going on, because it's a lot of texting going on before they actually like get to a actual telling of the story part of it. And then when they do get to the actual telling of the story, but I don't know how I would say that, because if you can see, all this is texting going on until they finally get to a part where they he asks her out, I think. And then you actually get to like the actual story part of it. But then when they do meet, it still go back to still got a little texting going on. But you got texting and then the actual telling of the story. It was okay. It was just missing something. I don't know what it is that it was missing. I'm enjoying the story because I made it this far. And I read this far without putting the book down. So I don't know. It's just still something missing. So I'm just going to say it was good. The part I've read so far is good. And this is Let's Get Textured by Teagan Hunter. And I'm almost finished with this. But will I pick this up again and read it? I doubt it. I'm just going to say it. So far it's good. It's a good book. It's not fan-freaking-tastic, no. Well, not for me. Have any of you read this? Let me know what you think about it if you read it. Or any of these books. Have any of you read any of these? If you have, let me know. And give me your opinion of them and let me know. Was I wrong? Am I missing something? I don't know. Next up I have that I'm trying to read. I'm reading on is usually I take a book. I read the first chapter and see does it capture my interest. Not so far in this one. And this is Kerrigan Bryan, the Scot beds his wife. I read the couple of chapters. I read the first chapter in this. Yeah, it's kind of starting out kind of slow, but I mentioned on here before, I like Kerrigan Bryan, so I'll continue to read this. I hope it don't be so sometimes a book start out slow and pick up. So I'm hoping that would have happened with this. And I also started reading on this. So when this one didn't catch my interest right away, I started this one, Kleypas, Smooth Talking Stranger, which is a contemporary, and this is a historical. This one didn't catch my interest too much either. I read it. I'm right here in this book, and it wasn't catching my interest. So I hope this get better too. That's why I started on this one. After these two didn't catch my interest, I started this one, and I did, like I said, I made it this far in this book. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm reading 3 books, trying to. But anyway, let me move on to my TBR for this month. And like I mentioned, some of these books have been on my TBR ever since last year, but I got a few new ones on here, so I'll just go over it again with you all out there. I just got, this is the 3rd book in the Blood Rose Trilogy series, and this is on the 3rd brother. I'll read a little bit of this, and this is called Chasing the Sun by Kaki. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Kaki Warner. I'll read a little bit of the synopsis. Daisy Eldred always yearned to sing, but she fell in love only to bear a child to a man who loved another. Now she has a second chance at her dreams, but first she's returning to the man who broke her heart. Jack Wilkins never wanted to work his family ranch. He wanted to travel the world, but a devotion to a childhood love has brought him back to win her one last time, until a woman from his past appears with a baby who has eyes like his own. So this one sounded interesting, because if you've read the first book, like I did, Pieces of Sky, you'll know that he was in love with a woman on the ranch. He really, really loved her. If something happened there and she left the ranch, and then I guess he caught himself going after her, but I guess he didn't find her, because this is telling that he met somebody else and now he got a baby on the way. So that sounded interesting, and I hope this is better than the second book. I hope I can get into these characters, because like I said, in the second book I enjoyed the story, but the characters, I don't know. So I hope I enjoy the characters in this one, and I hope this is a lot. I hope I really, really enjoy this one. Next up, I have the Kingmaker's Chronicle. I mentioned on here before that I had purchased the first book, which was A Promise of Fire, and that book was, now that was fan-freaking-tastic. So I had to go and get the other 2 books in the series. The second book is A Breath of Fire, and the 3rd book is Heart on Fire. I won't read the back of these, but it's a fantasy. I mean, well, paranormal romance. And when I originally bought the first book, I bought it for the cover. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it real good, but I bought it for the cover, and the book was just, it was amazing. I really, really enjoyed it. So these are book 2 and book 3 in the Kingmaker Chronicles, and Breath of Fire and Heart on Fire. So I'm not going to read the back of those, because it's really not synopsis on the back of those. But if you like magic and ancient, what is it, the gods, Zeus and all that stuff like that, and dragons, yeah, you'll enjoy these. And they're paranormal romance. So check it out. It's the Kingmaker Chronicles. I have, like I said, I haven't read these 2, but I can highly, highly recommend the first book. Next, I have Nothing But Trouble, and this is a contemporary by Rachel Gibson. I'll read a little bit of the synopsis on this. And this one was book was recommended by one of you all out there, one of my subscribers. Thank you for recommending it, because I read the synopsis and I was like, yeah, because it's a sports romance and it's dealing with hockey. I'll read you a little bit of synopsis. Chelsea Ross' acting career has been a total bust. The closest she ever came to stardom was her brilliant performance as Pretty Dead Girl #1. But leaving Hollywood to become the personal assistant to a famous hockey player could be her stupidest career move ever. So that sounded interesting, and it's Nothing But Trouble by Rachel Gibson. Next, I got this from my Romance Reveal book box subscription, and this is The Charmer, and it says A Hot Romantic Comedy by Avery Flynn, and I'll read you a little bit of this. Hot, filthy rich, and usually irresistible, Hudson Carlyle just met the one woman in Harbor City who's immune to his legendary charm. Nerdy ant researcher Felicia Hartington is the unsexiest dresser ever. She trips over air and she's in love with totally the wrong man. Hudson can't stop thinking about her. So when I read that she's supposed to be a nerd and she kind of clumsy, I was like, yeah, this is right up my alley right here. This sounds like it's going to be fun. And it says a romantic comedy, so I said, let me give it a try. So I said, let me get this book right here and put it on my TBR. And that's The Charmer, Avery Flynn. And it's a contemporary. And next I have is a historical. This has been on my TBR for a while. Heart of the Storm by Pamela Willis. I'll read just a little bit of this. Josie Campbell could put a bullet through a man's head at 100 yards with as much skill as she could nurse a fugitive slave baby back to health. But she hadn't done much thinking about men until the dashing Clint McCarter rode into town. From the moment Josie saw the handsome Texas cowboy, her heart was never the same. But the black clouds of the Civil War was gathering on the horizon, and there was little time for love until Clint and Josie could find happiness at the heart of the storm. And that's Heart of the Storm, Pamela Willis, a historical. Next, this is also from my Romance Reveal book box. Look at that cover. Whether this book is good or bad, I'm keeping this for this cover. And this is Soul by Leslie McAdam. And this is going to be a trilogy, a series, Love in Transition series. And I'll read you a little bit of it. It's really not a synopsis on here, but I'll just read you what's on the back. The Army taught me discipline, order, control. None of that matters the day I walked into her classroom or her bedroom. What's more important than my grades? Not failing her. I hope this is good. I kind of hope it's good because look, it's not that much, and if it's really good, I'm going to want more. So I don't know. And I like how they got start the chapters in here. If I can get to a chapter. So they got the like dog tags on there. Got dog tags on the start of the chapter. I thought that was pretty neat. Got them like all the way through here. That's nice. I can't wait to read this. I don't know, cause yeah, this is this is sounding pretty good. And that's Soul by Leslie McAdams. Next I have Jodi Ellis Malpas. I've had this on here for a while. Some of you have seen this before. The Protector. I'll read a little bit of this. People think they have Camille Logan nailed, a daddy girl with his big bank account to fund her lifestyle. But Camille is determined to free herself from his strings. Out on her own, she's made mistakes, including one that had her clawing her way back after a stint in rehab and plenty of bad publicity. Now, after fighting so hard to be independent and happy, she finds her life threatened as a result of her father's ruthless business dealing. Caught between resentment and fear, Camille is completely unprepared when an ex-military sniper crashes into her life as her new bodyguard. And that sounded pretty interesting. And I like this cover. See the lights back there? I think my camera went out, but where was I? I was talking about Jodi Ellis Malpas' book, The Protector, and I was mentioning the lights back there. I like how they got the lights behind there. And this is the last book I have here. It's Master of Crow by Draven. I mentioned this on here before. I'm a big fan of her books. I can't remember the first book I read by her, but I really enjoy her writing, so I got this. And this is Master of Crows, and I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis of this. What would you do to win your freedom? This is the question that sets bondwoman Martise of Asher on a dangerous path. In exchange for her freedom, she bargains with her masters, the Mage Priest of Concave, to spy on the renegade sorcerer Sahara of Nath. The priest wants Martise to expose the sorcerer's treachery and turn him over to conclave justice. A risky endeavor, but one she accepts without hesitation until she falls in love with her intended target. So that sounded really good, and I like this cover. Nice cover. But that's all I have for now. Hopefully I can get another video posted this week to make up for last week, because I totally missed out last year. Last year? Yeah. Last week. My bad. It didn't happen, people. I was like, I need to get this video. And I was going to do it yesterday, but I ended up going to the store with my sister, and I just did not feel like doing a video when I got back. So I hope you all understand. So hopefully everyone having a great Easter. And until next time, keep reading those romances. See ya.